Hello and welcome to Ray on Sports. I am your host, Johnny Ray. Come on in, buckle up, and let's take this ride. Today I'll be covering two subjects this week. The gambling scandal in the NBA, and two, the pay scale for WNBA players. So let's get it started. First of all, there was a player in the NBA, Jonte Porter of the Toronto Raptors, who was banned for life. For life. Just like Ice Cube said, for life. For life. After the NBA has investigated and found out and revealed that he had disclosed confidential information to bettors, limited his participation in one game, and bet on the NBA games while he was playing in the G League. Now, this is a big story in the NBA of betting. I'm not sure it's not the last time, or I'm not sure it's not the first time that somebody was caught betting sports in the NBA and in other sports. I would say it goes on a lot in the NBA, a lot in sports, of players betting on each other, betting on the game, betting on the point spread. Whether they're doing it for, I would say, for themselves, whether they're doing it because they owe money, or whether they're doing it because, let's say, they owe some money to somebody, or they're not making enough money. But all in all, it's not nothing new to sports. There have been different stories on it, about people gambling. One, besides the Deontay story, there's also one that happened in baseball, where Los Angeles Dodgers superstar Shohei Ohtani, his interpreter was fired in March for using a bookie. Come to find out, he had stole more than $16 million from Ohtani's account. Now, if that had to do with a betting scandal or betting, I don't know. But my thing is, you do it the first time and you don't get caught. You do it again and you say, oh, that was pretty good. Ain't nobody really noticed that. Let me try it one more time. And then that's when they get greedy. That's when people do more than expected. They take more than expected. I've known over the years, it's in my past, I've known someone or people who have skim money off the top, work for different organizations, different businesses, and they took some money, and they took a little bit more, and they took a little bit more. And they probably had it going on for quite a while. And then finally someone caught up with them because they got greedy. And, I'm not condoning gambling. I'm not condoning people skimming money. But in the case of the basketball player, I would think that maybe, I don't know, maybe he needed money. Maybe he wasn't making enough in the G League, and he did it a little bit, and he thought, oh, I did it a little bit, maybe I can do it one more time. But see, that's the thing, is greed. Greed is a powerful thing. If you're not careful, greed will get you in trouble. Greed will get you fired. And in this case, he got banned for life from the NBA. Not just for a couple of games, they did it for life because the NBA doesn't play it. Now, to think about gambling in sports. Gambling in sports has been going on for quite a while. I was reading this story on ESPN that was written by this guy. Let me get his name right because I want to give him proper credit for what I'm reading. I don't want nobody to say, "Hey, somebody took my story, somebody took my words." I want to do it the right way. Let's see if I can find his name. He did the story on ESPN about gambling, especially about this article. He did this article for ESPN about gambling, and I can't find his name right now, but it's an article on ESPN, and he's talking about how he got caught, but he also is showing a timeline of things that happen in sports about people gambling and things of that nature. 2018, May 14, 2018, Supreme Court strikes down federal prohibitions on sports gambling. Says the United States Supreme Court ruled 6-3 to strike down the Professional and Amateur Sports Protection Act, a 1992 law barring state-authorized sports gambling. Nevada had been the primarily the only exception. The ruling, which was it ended a nearly 6-year legal battle, opened the door for any state interested in legalizing sports gambling to do so. So that was, in my opinion, when it started. They were tired of people. I guess they were tired of people gambling and making money off of it. So they kind of legalized it. So it's, I think that what they're trying to do in sports, I think what they're trying to do is try to stop players from gambling or stop these. I would say, I don't know, probably these bookies from approaching players and approaching managers, and maybe, I don't know. I'm not sure. I can't. I'm like I said. This is my opinion. I'm just speculating. Maybe it was going on for a while, and if you watch some games, I mean, if you're not looking for it, but if you think you're looking for it, and I can kind of look for it, Like I said, this is only my opinion, not fact behind this, but some players you can see that they don't, either they pull back or they, don't give they all when it comes down to the last play of the game or the last score of the game, or if the game's out of reach, they kind of like, they up by 20 and they'll kind of like throw up a last second shot when the game's almost over. So instead of winning by 20, team wins by 22. I don't know. I'm not saying that these players were gambling. I'm not saying that they were trying to throw games. Not saying none of that. But I know it happens. I know it happens in sports. I know that there are players out there that are probably approached by either bookies, or there's probably players out there who owe money and figured they can kind of, sweeten the stats or sweeten their stats, and probably, I don't know. It's just something that came up. Also, 2019, November 29th, 2019, NFL suspends Josh Shaw indefinitely. Josh Shaw, which is a football player for the Arizona Cardinals, was the first active player, even though he was on injury reserve, to be suspended for betting on league games. He bet openly at a sports book in Las Vegas against his own team at the time, the Arizona Cardinals, as part of a parlay. Now, if you know what parlay is, I'm not too sure about parlays. I've heard about them. People try to explain them to me, because I just wanted to know, not like I'm gonna put my gambling into it. I'm gonna bet my money on it, but I just wanted to know what a parlay was, and a friend of mine kind of explained it to me a little bit, and I was like, okay, that makes sense. That kind of makes sense. I didn't really understand it, but I was like, okay, sounds good to me. I'm not a sports gambling person, so I can't lay it out for you and tell you what all the ins and outs of gambling is. But I just know that, you can look on, like I said, they legalized gambling. So you can look on ESPN and you'll see the line on the game. Or if you, read the stats of a game, or before the game, they'll say plus 12 or plus 2 or plus or minus 5. I don't know what all that means, but, so some people, they do know what it means. And maybe, this guy, he got caught. He was, maybe he wasn't making enough money. Maybe he was trying to get something on the side. Who knows? But don't know what his mind was, but it's not for me to speculate. Now, in September 8th of 2020, the University of Colorado signed a sponsored deal with a Denver-based PointsBet. The 5-year deal between Colorado and PointsBet permitted the sports betting operator to display signs at Colorado football stadiums and basketball arenas as well as have ads on other media, such as radio broadcasts. So, like I said, they had legalized gambling, so these companies were like trying to, I guess, booster it at colleges. So, I've seen movies, I've seen events, I've seen a couple of movies where they talk about point shaving, and I think it was a movie with Nick Nolte. I'm not sure. I can't remember the movie, but they asked him, "Did you shave points?" And he said, I don't remember what he said. I don't remember exactly what he said. I think he said he did, or he didn't or not. And what they mean by shaving points is you were supposed to win by 14, and the players, I think he was a football coach. I'm not sure. I'll have to check somebody can probably check that on me. I think he said that they were supposed to win by 14, and they were approached by I'm guessing a bookie, to tell him that, hey, I need you to win by 14 so we can cover this bet. And he did. The team. I think the team was about to go up by 21. And he was about to score again, and he called a timeout, or he called an audible or something, and they didn't make it, and they ended up punting the football away. I'm not too sure on the story. I'm just speculating on it, but that's kind of what they mean by shaving points. That they approach these players and say, hey, we need X amount. We need you to do this. And it'll parlay into this, or you can, if you bet this, you can win this. Now the story with Deontay Porter. I'm sorry, not Deontay Murray. I'm sorry. Apologize, Deontay Murray. I'm not meant to say your name. It was a mistake. It was a error on my part. But Deontay Porter, that's his name. They said the reason why he was caught because the payout was $1 million, and that raised a red flag with the betting, whatever the place was that he betted with. It raised a red flag, and they got to him, and they called him on it, and that's how they found out. Then they found out things he were doing about not playing all the way in the game, and then saying he was sick. And so that was kind of like whatever bet it was, he had to play so many minutes and get so many points, and then he would win. And it was like a long shot bet, maybe, that if he did that someone would win. Someone would win a lot of money. So they found out it was him that was winning a lot of money. But like I said, that's something that goes on a lot. I'm sure it goes on a lot. Like I said, I'm reading this timeline. I told you about that one. I told you about the Josh Shaw one. I told you about the University of Colorado. Now in 2021, May 26, 2021, Capital One Arena in Washington became the first professional sports arena in the U.S. to have a fully operational sports book. Momentum Sports, the owner of the Washington Wizards, the Washington Mystics, and the Washington Capitals, agreed to a 10-year lease with William H. Sportsbook. So, like I said, this thing is going. They're out there. They're making deals with teams and players, these sports books and sports bettors. So, I don't know. I don't know if I was a player and I needed it, would I be tempted to do it? I think that calls out to your character. How much do you love your game? How much do you love what you do? Are you willing to risk your entire career on sports betting? Because now, say like this player from the Raptors, he lost his whole career. He got banned for life. The game he probably grew up playing, that he wanted to get into the NBA, idolized different players as he was growing up, and said, well, not one day I'll get there. And now this got him. And like I said, I don't know the details. Don't know the entire story don't know where his head was at, don't know what caused him to do what he did. But in my opinion, I don't think that's a good thing to do. But who am I? I'm just an average person. Give you my opinion on it, and you can take your own from it. Read up on the stories, see what you think of it. Also, I think in March 7, 2022, NFL suspended Calvin Ridley for 1 year. Ridley, who was an Atlanta Falcon receiver at the time, was suspended for at least the entirety of the 2022 season after NFL determined that he had gambled on games during a 5-day stretch in November 2021, while on the non-football injury list. So I'm assuming that in some of these contracts, there are stipulations about what you can do when you're hurt, when you're not playing, and all these things come back. There's got to be a paper trail somewhere. Somebody's gonna find out. Some red flags are gonna pop up and saying, hey, we're paying out this or we're paying out that. Sources told ESPN's Adam Schefter that the stretch included multi-leg parlay bets that included the Falcons to win. He was reinstated in March 2023, so I'm assuming whatever he did didn't get him banned for life because it wasn't that much of money. But like I said, we don't know what's in their heads. We don't know what caused him to do it. And maybe he thought, it wasn't that big of a deal. Because you got people, and they probably come to you and says, hey, why don't you bet on this, bet on that, and you're thinking, okay, yeah, go ahead. Or maybe it wasn't even him who betted. Maybe it was a friend of his who betted, who used his name, and they just associated with him. If you're at that level, can I give you some advice? When you're at that level, sports player, athlete, have a good circle around you. Somebody that'll tell you, when you're wrong. Somebody can tell you, hey, I don't think that's a good look for you. I don't think you should, dive into something like that, because that kind of thing comes back to you. No matter what you do, it always comes back. If you cheat, it comes back to you. If you do something like this, it always comes back to you, because when the dust clears and the lights come on, all the rats gonna scatter and they're gonna leave you holding the bag. And when they come down, when the law enforcement or wherever comes down, or whatever the commissioner is of that league comes down on you, they're not looking for the little fish. They're going for the big fish. So if you're a big time person and your name is associated with it, they're coming for you. So be careful of your circle. So my advice to you on Rail Sports is to be careful who you're hanging around with. Watch your circle. Somebody in your circle should tell you, hey, it's not a good look. It's not a good thing. Hey, man, that ain't gonna be good. But if you don't have those people in your circle, get those people in your circle. If you got yes people around you because you got a little money in your pocket, money is money is a commodity and it's fleeting. They say the love of money is a sin, and it's not the money, it's the love of it. People have it, but then they want more, so they do what they can to get more. I don't think I want to be like that. If I had the money like that, I kind of think about stuff like, if I spend my money on that, how is it gonna come back on me? How's the backlash gonna come back on me on that? So, like I said, I don't know what that is, don't know what caused it, but that is that on gambling. Now, my next thought and my next point. Let's talk about the salary of the WNBA players. So, Caitlin Clark from Iowa was the number one pick in the WNBA draft. And they put up her numbers of how much she would make over 4 years. Over 4 years, Caitlin Clark will be making $338,056 million for over 4 years. And if you think about that, what that compares to is the top pick in the NBA draft, which was Victor Wembanyama. I'm sorry if I'm butchering his name, but he signed his contract for $55 million over 4 years. Now, think of that. She's making $338,000 over 4 years, and he's making $55 million, and they're both playing basketball. The difference is he's a man and she's a woman. Tell me what's wrong with this math. I know there's a difference between men and women's basketball, but this is not cool. This is downright ridiculous. Why would you pay someone like that amount of money? I know in different areas, not just in sports, with men and women, there's a difference in salaries. They say that men make more than women, and they give all the reasons why, that men, a male electrician will make more than a female electrician, and they give the reasons why, that male will do this and females probably won't do that, and that's why they pay them more. But the whole thing about it is, it's not right. It's not fair. It's not fair to players that go out there and play. It's not fair to the women of the WNBA, that they make such less money than the men. They play the same sport, they grind the same way, they train the same way, but they make less. Now, I know in the WNBA, the arenas are not as fully packed as the NBA games, because the NBA is, I would say, a male sport, and people like to see the men out there jumping and shooting and doing all that other stuff. But the women are not that far behind, and they're doing things almost as better than the men. Caitlin Clark is shooting about as good as Steph Curry is shooting. If you don't know who Steph Curry is, Golden State Warrior, 3-point killer. They call him a babyface assassin. He can shoot from anywhere. In warm-ups, he shoots from anywhere. Caitlin is right there with him. She can shoot from anywhere. I believe in the next NBA All-Star break, they're going to have a 3-point contest between Steph and Caitlin to see who the best one is. They had one last year between Steph and I forgot the other young lady's name. And it was pretty good. She was holding her own. She lost it, but she held her own against Steph. And Steph looked like a little nervous at times, like wee. So I can't understand why the play is so different. Um, she under her contract for the 2024 season. Um, so if you don't know about the draft, I'll tell you about some any drafts in any level of sports. The top four people that are picked get a different salary than the next 5 to 10. So draft order 1 through 4 gets a certain amount of salary, and draft order 5 through 10 gets a different salary. Then as they go down, salary changes. So with the WNBA, Caitlin Clark's gonna make 76,000 for her first year, 78,000 for her second year, 85 for her third year, and 97 for her fourth year, which is they call a fourth year option, which means she can either resign or she can move on to somewhere else and make more money. Now, explanation behind her not making that type of money is from the commissioner of the WNBA. They're saying that she's making more from endorsements, up to $1 million in endorsements, and I think from marketing things like she probably get a portion of her jersey sales, and she probably get a portion of this. And I believe she just signed a contract with Nike, and I know she's going to get a portion of that. But what about that player that's not getting all that? Are they supposed to be happy with the 300 something $1,000 they're going to make in over 4 years? I don't think so. So WNBA draft picks number 2 through 4: Stanford's Cameron Brink, who went to Los Angeles Sparks; South Carolina's Camelia Cardosa, she went to Chicago Sky; and Tennessee's Rickea Jackson, also went to the Sparks, will make the same pay as Caitlin Clark. I don't think that's good. But like I said, a WNBA spokesman, I'm reading a story from NBCnews.com, said a WNBA spokesman said Wednesday that the $76,000 sum is just part of what Caitlin Clark will make in the league. That spokesman said, Caitlin stands to make $500,000 or more in WNBA earnings in this coming season, in addition to what she will receive through endorsements and other partnerships, which also has been reported to already exceed $3 million. Beyond the rookie's base salary, she also make earnings through the league and team marketing agreements. And like I said, that team marketing agreements probably like events they're gonna have her go to, places they're gonna have her show up to, promote the team, promote the city, promote women's basketball. Now, I've heard that since she got picked as the number 1 draft pick, like I said, the attendance for WNBA games wasn't that well. I used to watch a couple of them. I catch a couple of them every once in a while, and I look at the audience, and majority of it's women, but there's some men that come and watch. But I noticed that the arenas weren't as full. But now they're saying because when she signed with I think it's the Indiana. Is it Indiana she signed with? I'm just gonna make sure. I want to get my facts right. She will, yeah. I think she signed with Indiana. Indiana Fever. Yeah, she signed with the Indiana Fever. So they said once she signed with the Indiana Fever, or once the Indiana Fever found out that she's going to be the number 1 draft pick, ticket sales went through the roof. They said they're sold out. Their season tickets are sold out. That's just the popularity of her, coming into the league. So from that money, I'm hoping she gets a cut of that, because I'll be like, hey, where's mine? I'm the one who, not to say I'll, be a big head about it, not to say, I'm all that, but just to say, hey, I'm helping you I'm putting some booties in the seats, or some butts in the seats. So, can I get a pay cut? Can I get a pay increase? Can I get a pay raise? Because, she's doing a lot for the game, and she's also opening the door for the game. People are starting to watch women's college basketball. I think they had the highest ratings than any, and I think I said it in my second episode about how the ratings were for the college game. And now it's transitioning over to the WNBA, and from that, hopefully their league president, or the players president, or whoever it may be, will speak up on that and says, hey, we're almost as good as the men. We're bringing in. Hopefully they'll show it this season. So maybe the numbers after this season will give them some kind of leverage and something to stand on to say, like, look, this is what we did this season. So can we get a bigger slice of the pie? Because I'm sure that the owners are getting a good slice, and I'm sure all the vendors and all the endorsements and all the representatives and all those people are getting their slice of pie, and the players should get theirs too. Like I said, Caitlyn I believe she signed a deal with Nike, and I'm sure it's not going to be as much as, let's see, as much as LeBron made when he came in, because Caitlyn is like the LeBron now. She's the person coming in to make it, putting the face of the WNBA, making her the face of the WNBA. LeBron, when he came in the league, I'm gonna look up some numbers for you and let you know. LeBron's first salary when he came in the league. Let's see, LeBron James' first salary. Let's see if I can pull it up real quick while we sitting here. When he came out, it says LeBron, when he first contract with his hometown team, the Cleveland Cavaliers, kicked off in 2003. And this is from Parade.com. They said he was paid $18.8 million for 4 years. $18.8 million for 4 years, and that was him coming out of college. They not even knowing how good he was going to be, and he was the number one pick, and that's what I meant to get paid. So, I don't know. I don't know how to think of this, but I think, yeah, they said over CNBC.com says a big reason for that salary inflation. As a top draft pick in 2003, LeBron James, as my grandchild says, made $4 million his rookie season. So he's making much less than the $10 million salaries that top picks can earn today. So that was in 2003. LeBron James was bringing in $4 million in salaries, and I don't think as the women, I don't think they were even bringing in that much, if I'm not mistaken. But that's what I'm saying. That's the difference right there. And Caitlyn is that person. She's the LeBron James of the WNBA right now. She's that Michael Jordan of the WNBA right now. Now, there's been other WNBA players before her. Lisa Leslie, Cheryl Swoops, Dawn Staley. They came into the league. I don't know. Let me see. So, WNBA salaries, average salaries for their players. The average salary in 2023 for the WNBA players was $113,000. Can you believe that? $113,000 compared to the base NBA player in the base NBA player, their salary is $9.7 million. $9.7 million. That's the base pay for a base NBA player compared to $113,000 that the WNBA players are making. And a base player for the NBA, you know what a base player is? That's a player that's sitting on the bench, probably never gets in a game, probably orders some nachos on the side, and he's making $9 million. He's making $9 million a year. That's base price. Or maybe it's $9 million over 4 years, I'm not sure, but they said the highest salary in the league was a little over $241,000. That's in WNBA. So something needs to be done about that. You can't have these people out here, busting their butts for little or nothing. I don't know what. Let me see. So a salary of $113,000 a year. I wonder who makes $113,000 a year. Who can I compare that to? I don't know. What profession makes $113,000? How about that? What profession makes $113,000 a year? Let's see who that would be. I don't know. Or does make $113,000 a year. That's a good question. For somebody to know $113,000 a year compared to a WNBA player, I don't know. But I don't know. But I'm gonna look it up for you guys, so you guys will know. They said this is about 25,000. They said 25 jobs where you can make over $100,000 a year, and this is from CNBC. So a physician makes $180,000 a year. Lawyer makes $144,000 a year. Research and development manager makes 142,000 a year. A software development manager makes 132,000. So those are people that's making a little bit more than a WNBA player. And I'm not knocking their profession. I'm not saying they're better than WNBA players. What I'm saying is that the women should make more. There should be something. They should have more to it. It should be more to it for them. But we'll see. We'll see how the league goes. We'll see how this season goes. I'm gonna watch it closely. I'm gonna start watching WNBA games. I haven't really watched them, but I'm gonna start watching them, and I'm gonna see how the fans are and how the games are and who shows up to the games and all that, and see if anything changes. And hopefully it will. Because that's not good. It's not good for players to go out there and do their all and not getting paid accordingly. That's just in any profession. You go out there and you work hard and you put on a show for the fans and you don't get paid for it. But we'll see how that goes. So that's it for this week. Thank you guys for taking this ride with me. I hope this is a good ride. I hope you kept your seatbelts on. If you liked what you heard, share it. Share it with someone. Or leave me a comment. Leave me some reviews on how you like the podcast. I appreciate you guys listening to me. Like I said, thank you for taking this ride with me. My name is Johnny Ray, and this has been Ray on Sports. Until next time, take care and God bless.